Down to 10 seconds. Here we go.
Pearson on the wing, now working himself back in. Now it's Wennick.
Crowd watching. Down to 5 seconds. Buchanan shot off the glass. No good. Tip in. Oh! I think that was Winnick. Was that Asman?
Who kicked it in?
With the tip in at the buzzer. Look at Lucky Woods going nuts at the scores table. Papermakers win.
Big time plays.
Here's Pepler breaking through.
Oh, good passes. How do you leave McGlone open? And it's in for a 3-point opportunity. Wow.
Well, they collapsed on Pepler, but she's such a great finisher, so that forces.
Big time athletes.
He wasn't here to lead the time.
Yep.
Get out of here.
Lump has it again. He wants one more. He wants one more. He's going down the sideline. I think he's going to get it. He's got one more. 66 yards.
Big time games.
Yeah, it's kind of been I guess you could call it a mental break style. They've been close. Kimberly has strength, but they've never really been able to match the team.
Bouncing up to Pearson. Just catch Rowland. Look at that. That is your match. 25-16. And Appleton North has
big time moments. They all come together for a big-time event. This is the Wisconsin Prep Sports Awards Show.
Good evening. I'm Andy Fisher, Vice President for the USA Today Network in Wisconsin, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to our 5th annual Wisconsin Prep Sports Awards. I want to begin by thanking our presenting sponsors, Bellin Health and Festival Foods, for their continued support of our local communities. Tonight is a celebration of the athletes, the coaches, the families, and the sports fans. Earlier this year, nobody would have anticipated having this event virtually, but we're not going to let that stop us from celebrating the top prep athletes in Wisconsin. All of you have committed to something that's bigger than yourselves. You hustled and practiced, overcame, and persevered. I've got to level with you. It was an excruciating undertaking, narrowing the field down to 6 nominees in our 16 Player of the Year categories and trying to select the finalists for our premier awards. We agonized over these deliberations as we vetted all of the accomplishments you'll hear about tonight. While we were only able to select one person or team in each category to receive an award, you should all be extremely proud of yourselves for being among the best of the best here tonight. Please know that you are all destined to be great and do great things, and we'll all continue to be here supporting you in whatever lies ahead. The coronavirus pandemic robbed us and you of 7 spring sports seasons and even more state championships. And I wanted to give a special shout out to all those athletes that were not able to compete. USA Today Network Wisconsin reached out to numerous senior athletes for their thoughts on having the hopes and dreams of their final season dashed. You can find that story and our congratulations to them, in which we thank those student athletes for their commitment, hard work, loyalty, and all the wonderful memories they created, in our special section. But let me be the first to say thank you to our seniors. I have a senior in high school as well, and I understand firsthand the sacrifices that have been made in what should have been the most energetic and fun last few months of school. We wish all of you the best in the days, weeks, months, and years ahead. My advice for all of you is that you bask in it for a while, slow down and celebrate what you've accomplished, have some fun lifting one another up and celebrating all of your successes. Then get ready to get back to work because we can't wait to see you back here next year. Congrats again, you guys. Now let's just get this party started. So I'm going to turn it over to our hosts tonight, Brett Christopherson and Ricardo Arguello.
Good evening, I'm Brett Christopherson. Thank you for joining us for our annual celebration of Wisconsin high school sports. We wish we could all be together in person this year. We held off in making a final decision as long as we could, but it just wasn't meant to be. But the show must go on, so a virtual show it is. Tonight we're excited to recognize and salute many of the state's top prep athletes, coaches, and teams. I've said it before and I'll say it again, we're spoiled. Why? Because fans and observers of the state's prep scene consider the schools and markets this show represents a hotbed for Wisconsin high school sports. And that was the case again this past season, even as it was shortened due to the COVID-19 pandemic. So first and foremost, congratulations to all the athletes, coaches, and teams who we're honoring tonight. We're also excited to have Pittsburgh Steelers outside linebacker and former University of Wisconsin standout TJ Watt as part of tonight's special celebration. He'll be joining us a little later for a virtual interview. I've covered all levels of sports during my time with USA Today Network Wisconsin, which dates all the way back to 2003. I guess I'm getting old. But many of my favorite stories that I've written over the years and many of my favorite live streams that we've produced, particularly our live games, have centered around high school sports. And most of those live streams have involved this guy right here.
Well, thank you, Brett. Hello, everyone. I'm Ricardo Arguello, and I've been with USA Today Network Wisconsin since 2006. And throughout these past 14 years, I've had a just memorable time telling the stories of all the athletes, the coaches, and the championship teams. And I'm happy to be here tonight with you, Brett, as we celebrate the very best in the area.
We're incredibly excited to be celebrating with you tonight. So to all the student athletes, tonight is your night. We hope you're enjoying it with family, friends, coaches, and teammates. Before we get started, we'd like to thank our very generous presenting sponsors for making tonight possible, Bellinhealth and Festival Foods. Whether you're a starting quarterback, starting your comeback, or just want to live life pain-free, Bellinhealth Titletown can help get you back in the game. Their team of orthopedics and sports medicine experts leverages the latest in state-of-the-art technology to assess and address injury, create an individualized recovery plan, and help optimize performance for the future. Your comeback starts with them. And Festival Foods. Festival Foods has a deep sense of community pride and responsibility, which is why they are dedicated to making a positive impact throughout Wisconsin. Festival Foods knows that getting involved and doing good is part of being a good neighbor and member of the community. From the sponsorship and support of large events such as the Festival Foods Turkey Trot to many small acts of service to local groups every day, Festival Foods strives to be a true asset to the communities and embody the give-back spirit of Wisconsin.
Now, a little bit about tonight's game plan. In a nutshell, awards will be given in 23 categories. The first half of the show will be dedicated to our Player of the Year finalists, and we'll start with fall and move our way through the winter sports. Of course, the COVID-19 pandemic canceled the spring sports season, so unfortunately, we weren't able to recognize those who were planning on competing in baseball, boys golf, girls soccer, softball, boys tennis, and boys and girls track and field. It certainly makes for an incomplete show, and we wish that that wasn't the case. Now, the latter half of the show will continue with our premier awards, which includes our boys and girls athletes of the year. Now, you can find the details of their accomplishments and the accomplishments of all of our nominees by reading their bios in a special section that you'll find in your local USA Today Network Wisconsin newspaper on Saturday, that's tomorrow, or Sunday. And we'll also reveal the winner of our Interactive Play of the Year award, but more on that later. And by the way, award winners and our Courage Award recipient will receive a really cool trophy. Brett, if you could, And not only will they get this really cool trophy, but they'll also get an autographed photo of TJ Watt. We'll get those sent out as soon as possible.
Without further ado, let the awards ceremony begin. The first awards are the Sports-Specific Player of the Year Awards, which are dedicated to the athletes who stood out in competition this past season in their respective sports. Our first award of the evening is for athletes who love to run and run really far. This is the Boys Cross Country Runner of the Year. And here are the nominees. Congratulations to all, and now here are the three finalists. And our first award of the evening goes to Jake Kraus of Hortonville. Jake earned first-team All-State accolades from the Wisconsin Cross Country Coaches Association after winning the Division I championship at the WIAA State Meet, where he posted a time of 15:34.2. Jake also finished first at the Stevens Point Sectional and was Runner of the Year in the Fox Valley Association after winning the conference title. Our next award of the evening is for the ladies who put in the miles this past fall. Here are your nominees for Girls Cross Country Runner of the Year. And now, here are your three finalists. And our 2020 Girls Cross Country Runner of the Year award goes to Roisin Willis of Stevens Point. Roisin was named first team All-State by the Wisconsin Cross Country Coaches Association after finishing third in Division I at the WIAA State Meet with a time of 18:20.9. She also finished first at the Stevens Point Sectional and took first place at the Wisconsin Valley Conference Championship. Spashed, by the way, Stevens Point Area Senior High. Proud graduate, 1990.
Our next award is brought to you by the Green Bay Packers for those athletes who grind for each yard, live for each down, and love scoring touchdowns. Green Bay Packers Give Back is committed to enriching the communities that have supported us for 100 years. As the only community-owned NFL team, Green Bay Packers Give Back believes in utilizing the spirit of football to promote life lessons, build togetherness, and create future leaders. Let's look at the nominees for Football Player of the Year. And now, here are your three finalists. Well done, everyone. And our Football Player of the Year award goes to Isaiah Gash of Bayport. Isaiah was named Wisconsin Football Coaches Association First Team All-State in the large division and was also the state's Offensive Player of the Year. He was also a unanimous First Team Associated Press All-State pick and a unanimous All-Fox River Classic Conference selection. Isaiah rushed for 1,916 yards on 213 carries and 30 touchdowns despite missing the first two games due to injury. He surpassed current NFL fullback Alec Ingold as the Pirates' all-time leading rusher. It's time to move on and hit the links as we take a look at the nominees for the Girls Golfer of the Year. And now, here are your three finalists. Well done, ladies, and your 2020 Girls Golfer of the Year is Joe Baranchik of Bayport. Joe won her second consecutive Division I state championship with a 36-hole score of 149 to become the first girl to win back-to-back state titles since Jessica Reinecke of Verona in 2012-2013. She earned second-team All-State honors from the Golf Coaches Association of Wisconsin and was also tied for medalist honors at sectionals with the 77. She also tied for medalist honors at regionals with the 75. Joe was named first-team All-Conference in the Fox River Classic Conference.
It's time to hit the field again, the soccer field. Let's take a look at the nominees for Boys Soccer Player of the Year. And now, here are your three finalists. Congrats to all of you for your outstanding contributions, and the award in this category goes to Thomas Priest of Neenah. Thomas was named Wisconsin Soccer Coaches Association Best 11 First Team All-State. He also earned unanimous First Team All-Conference and Player of the Year accolades in the Fox Valley Association, and finished with 28 goals and 12 assists for 68 points in leading Neenah into the Division I state championship game. He scored 2 goals in the Rockets state semifinal win over Eau Claire Memorial and finished his Rockets career with 65 goals and 32 assists. Next up are athletes who spend time competing in the water, and the grueling work ethic that goes into the training regime of a swimmer is something that's truly astounding. Check out the nominees for Girls Swimmer and Diver of the Year. And now, here are the three finalists. Your 2020 Girls Swimmer and Diver of the Year award goes to Emma Lasecki of Bayport. Emma won 2 Division I state championships, winning her second consecutive title in the 200-yard individual medley with a time of 2 minutes, .66, and taking first place in the 100-yard butterfly in 54.21 seconds. She finished as the sectional champion in the 200 individual medley and 100 butterfly, and also took second place in the 200 medley relay and 400 freestyle relay. Emma earned Swimmer of the Year accolades in the Fox River Classic Conference.
Our next award is for the ladies who like to cause a racket on the court. Here are your nominees for the Girls Tennis Player of the Year. And now, here are your three finalists. And the award goes to Erika Curtin and Ellie Maxud of Xavier. Erika and Ellie finished as Division II state champions in doubles after winning a 6-0, 6-2 match over Jensen Christensen and Grace Tostrud of Monroe in the championship match. The Hawks duo entered state undefeated and the number 1 seed, and they finished the season with a 34-0 record. We move from the tennis court to the volleyball court. Let's look at the nominees for the Boys Volleyball Player of the Year. And now, here are your three finalists. And your 2020 Boys Volleyball Player of the Year is Landon Krause of Kimberly. Landon was named the Wisconsin Boys Volleyball Coaches Association State Player of the Year, and he finished the season with 414 kills, 164 digs, and a school record 88 service aces, and leading the Papermakers to their first state championship. He was also Fox Valley Association Player of the Year in each of the last 2 seasons. Now we head over to the ladies' side as we take a look at the nominees for Girls Volleyball Player of the Year. And now, here are your 3 finalists. And the award goes to Becca Day of Luxembourg Casco. Becca was named Wisconsin Volleyball Coaches Association First Team All-State in Division II, and she was also selected as the All-Fox Valley Player of the Year. Becca also earned First Team All-Northeastern Conference mention and was the league's Player of the Year. She finished with 1,097 assists and helping the Spartans win the WIAA Division II state title. She also had 248 digs and 45 aces.
On to the winter season, and next up this evening are our athletes who are all too familiar with the term nothing but net. That sounds like me, doesn't it, Ricardo? Here are the nominees for Boys Basketball Player of the Year. And now, here are your 3 finalists. And our 2020 Boys Basketball Player of the Year is Jacob Agnasovic of Sheboygan Lutheran. Jacob was the Big East Conference Player of the Year and earned First Team All-State from the Wisconsin Basketball Coaches Association in Division V and First Team All-State from the Associated Press. He led the state in scoring at 39.4 points per game and finished second in the state in rebounds with 16.1 per game. Jacob also etched his name into the record books by scoring 1,024 points this season to become only the 3rd player in history, in the state history that is, to score at least 1,000 points in a single season. He finishes his career with over 2,000 points and 1,000 rebounds. Our ladies also dominated on the court this past season. Take a look at the nominees for Girls Basketball Player of the Year. And now, check out our 3 finalists. And the award goes to Macy McGlone of Hortonville. Macy was named First Team All-State in Division II by the Wisconsin Basketball Coaches Association after leading Hortonville to a 25-1 record. She was also a Second Team All-State pick by the Associated Press. Macy averaged 17.3 points and 7.9 rebounds and was the Fox Valley Association Player of the Year and a unanimous First Team All-Conference selection.
Moving on to our athletes who know the importance of agility, flexibility, and strength. Here are the nominees for Gymnast of the Year. And now, here are your 3 finalists. And the 2020 Gymnast of the Year is Gracie Holland of Marshfield. Gracie finished second in the all-around competition at the Division I state meet with a score of 37.899. She took first in the vault for the 2nd year in a row, 4th on the uneven bars, 7th in the floor exercise, and 10th on the balance beam. Gracie was also Gymnast of the Year in the Great Northern Conference Large. Congratulations again to all of our nominees and award winners tonight. We're going to take a quick break for a little halftime show in just a moment. First, we do have two partners to thank for making this event possible. These businesses located right here in our community play a key role in making our home court the best it can possibly be. Without their support, we wouldn't be here celebrating tonight. Please join me in thanking our presenting sponsors, Bellinhealth and Festival Foods, for making this show possible. And now, here's a short message from our valued partners at Bellin Health. Please welcome Charlie DeClean, team facilitator and physical therapist.
Congratulations to all tonight's nominees. Bellin Health is proud to be a title sponsor for this year's Wisconsin Prep Sports Awards. My name is Charlie DeClean. I'm a team facilitator of therapy services here at Bellin Health Titletown Sports Medicine and Orthopedics. We are located in the heart of Titletown in the shadows of Lambeau Field. One of the main reasons the Green Bay Packers chose Bellin Health as their healthcare partner is that, quite simply, we are the sports medicine experts. We built this 52,000 square foot facility for you. Every decision we made when we designed this building was with the athlete in mind. We call it the Titletown Experience. What that means is you get treated just like the pros. We have treated professional and collegiate athletes from every single American major sport. Our team is made up of fellowship-trained sports medicine and orthopedic specialists, such as Bob Anderson, a world-class ankle and foot specialist that you'll meet in the next video. We have physical therapists, occupational therapists, athletic trainers, strength coaches. We have sports psychologists and sports nutritionists, all who live and breathe sports medicine. We specialize in comeback stories. Whether you're an athlete trying to get back in the game or an athlete trying to get to the next level, this is the place for you. We pride ourselves on being on the cutting edge of technology, whether it be only using high quality imaging with our MRI and CT, or our rehab specialists and performance specialists using research grade technology to assess the way athletes move, to provide you with exceptional research driven feedback that you deserve. We serve 27 area high schools with athletic trainers and strength coaches. We have a free walk-in injury clinic, so getting your injuries evaluated couldn't be easier. Simply put, we are the sports medicine experts. Welcome to Bellin Health, and welcome to Sports Medicine Excellence.
Orthopedics was always a love of mine, dating back to high school and college years. I was always an athlete and frequently injured, and so I got to know the orthopedic surgeons pretty well. Also, at the University of Mississippi, I had the opportunity to work for the team doctor there. Again, fell in love with not only orthopedics, but the sports side of orthopedics. I think the opportunity here in Green Bay was outstanding. It had the opportunity to be on the ground floor of something new and exciting, the opportunity to see athletes at different levels of capability, not just the elite or career athlete or professional athlete, but now it provided the opportunity to see the weekend recreational athlete. To be in a sports medicine facility of this caliber made it even more special. I enjoy my practice just helping see people get better. I think that always our goal is to see people get back on their feet, literally, and enjoying life. It's a quality of life issue for a lot of these people, no matter what the age. You might have an older person who wants to stay very active and participate in golf or tennis. You might have a younger person who wants to continue to do long-distance running activity. And if they have an ailment, particularly the lower extremity, that prevents that, if we can help them in any way to get back to their level of competition that they desire, then we've met our goal, and that makes me happy.
We know you have many choices when it comes to the businesses you frequent. On behalf of USA Today Network Wisconsin, we ask that you please keep our partners, both Bellin Health and Festival Foods, and all the work they do in our local communities in mind when you are making those choices.
Before we get back to it, a quick social media plug. One of the ways you can share this big night with your friends and family members who might not have been able to watch is by using the hashtag HSSWI. Everyone is able to watch tonight's show either live or in replay on our 10 USA Today Network Wisconsin websites and Facebook pages and on our YouTube channel. So please share your comments on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram using that hashtag HSSWI. We'd love to see and hear from you all. Hopefully they're all nice comments, by the way. Tell us what you think of the show and give us a follow on Twitter. I'm at PCBrettsy and Ricardo is at PCRicardo. Our next award of the evening will recognize those who love the cold and the ice. Let's take a look at the nominees for Boys Hockey Player of the Year. And now here are your three finalists. And the award goes to Mark Sipple of Wausau West. Mark earned first-team All-State accolades from Wisconsin Prep Hockey. He was the co-player of the year in the Wisconsin Valley Conference and a finalist for the Wisconsin Hockey Coaches Association State Player of the Year. Mark finished with 26 goals and 17 assists for 43 points, in 26 games. We also had plenty of outstanding performances on the ice this past winter by the ladies as we take a look at our Girls Hockey Player of the Year. And now, here are your three finalists. And the award goes to Maddy Jablonski of the Fox City Stars. Maddy was named Miss Hockey as the state's top player. She was also named MVP of the state tournament as the Stars beat the Metro Lynx 5-3 to win their second consecutive title. Maddy won the Janelle Sergey Award as the state's top forward, was named first-team All-State from Wisconsin Prep Hockey, and earned Eastern Shores All-Conference first-team honors. Maddy finished with 31 goals and 23 assists for 54 points in 29 games.
Well, there's more to winter than just ice. Don't forget about all the swimmers and divers who put together some outstanding performances and seasons in the pool. Our next award goes to the nominees for Boys Swimming and Diving Athlete of the Year. And now, here are your three finalists. And the award goes to Kaiser Neverman of Green Bay United. Kaiser won the Division I state championship in the 200-yard individual medley in 1:47.79 and in the 100-yard butterfly in 47.74 seconds. He was also the sectional champion in the 200 IM and the 100 butterfly and named Swimmer of the Year in the Fox River Classic Conference. Reversals, takedowns, technical falls, and pins. Let's take a look at the nominees for Wrestler of the Year. And here are your three finalists. And the 2020 Wrestler of the Year is Marshall Cools of Neenah. Marshall won the Division I state championship at 195 pounds and finished the season with a 44-0 record. He was Wrestler of the Year in the Fox Valley Association and also Wrestler of the Year on the All Fox Valley team, which is comprised of schools in the Appleton, Green Bay, Oshkosh, and Fond du Lac coverage areas. Congratulations to all the nominees on their excellent sports seasons. It was fun to cover so many of your outstanding games and performances. As Brett said earlier, the athletes, coaches, and teams we get to cover are truly among the best in the state. And that's year in and year out. So thank you for making our jobs so much fun to do. USA Today Wisconsin would like to once again thank tonight's sponsors who helped make this night possible, BellinHealth and Festival Foods. Still to come, we have our Premier Sports Awards to announce along with our Male and Female Athlete of the Year awards. But first, a break from the action to hear from one of the young stars of the NFL.
I'm excited to introduce tonight's very special guest. TJ Watt is a standout linebacker for the Pittsburgh Steelers and starred collegiately at the University of Wisconsin. Selected by the Steelers in the first round of the 2017 NFL Draft, the 25-year-old Watt has since developed into one of the league's top outside linebackers. He filled the stat sheet in 2019 with 14.5 sacks, which tied for the fourth most in the NFL. He also tied for the league lead with 8 forced fumbles and totaled 55 tackles, 35 of which were solo stops. He also had 36 quarterback hits, 14 tackles for a loss, 8 pass breakups, 4 fumble recoveries, and 2 interceptions. Wow. Watt capped a sensational 2019 season by being named first-team All-Pro as an edge rusher and second-team All-Pro at linebacker. He also was a nominee for NFL Defensive Player of the Year, finishing third in the voting. But first and foremost, he's a proud Pewaukee Pirate. TJ Watt, thanks so much for joining us here tonight.
Thank you for having me on, and it's a pleasure. And like I said, go Pirates always, through and through.
Yep, absolutely. Well, you know our audience, obviously, a lot of high school kids watching. This is the Wisconsin Prep Sports Award show. So let's cut to the chase. Strange days, obviously, right now with the current pandemic, a lot of unknowns, in-class schooling, virtual schooling, will sports return, all that stuff. So I'm just kind of, from the mind of a professional athlete and all the training you go through, how are you trying to keep things as normal as possible these days? Because people are creatures of habit. They like routines. They like normalcy. How are you staying positive, maintaining not only good physical health, but good mental health as well?
Yeah, I think this whole offseason I've been back here in Wisconsin for the most part, and just been able to keep training and being able to hang out with my family is huge. And a thing that we always talk about in Pittsburgh is being ready, so you don't stay ready, so you don't have to get ready. And I think that's huge because at some point we're going to go back to Pittsburgh, and it's going to be time to train. It's going to be time to play football, and I don't have to go through an acclimation period where potential injuries could play a factor. So I'm taking the time to really focus on my diet, focus on getting great sleep, mentally seeing my family, my friends as much as possible, and being safe and doing that as well. And just training hard, and I'm very confident that I'm ready whenever the time comes to play football again.
Yeah, any message, TJ, to the seniors out there? Obviously, a lot's been made. You know, their seasons and school years stopped short or canceled because of the pandemic. Not only sports, as I mentioned, but graduations, all the fun stuff. Wasn't that long ago, as you said, a proud Pewaukee Pirate. So I'm sure you remember your high school days just well, but. Unfair situation, but any advice, any message to these seniors on what they kind of have had to go through?
Yeah, I think that a lot of positive can come from negative situations, and obviously I don't know what those guys are going through. I don't think a lot of us know what it's like to have our senior seasons cut short. Some people had half seasons, some people didn't have seasons at all, and there's no other way of putting it other than it's unfortunate and it's out of your control though. And my whole life, coaches, my parents, my peers have always told me to control what I can control. And to be able to go through such great adversity at such a young age is going to be nothing but beneficial down the road. And I think it'll just be a minor setback when you look back in 20 years.
I've asked this question of other guests we've had in the past with this show, and it's always kind of interesting to hear the answers, but what would you tell an 18-year-old TJ Watt who's getting ready to graduate from high school or has graduated and is getting ready to take on the world, right? Make that big leap. Is there something that you've learned over the years, maybe that you wish you would have known as a high school kid?
Me personally, I wish I would have asked more questions. And I wanted to be a kid that, my 2 older brothers went through the process of not even being athletes, but just going to college. Going away from home, and I wish I would have asked more important questions and just wasn't so I know everything, and I feel like I know everything because looking back, my parents were right so many times when I thought they were wrong in high school, and especially my senior year and stuff. So I think it's important to find a mentor, find someone who you admire on and off the field or in and out of the classroom in the community, and ask them as many questions as possible, because the only way we can grow is if we truly find the answers, and the only way to do that is to ask.
All the parents are going to love that you just said the parents know what they're talking about. So you scored some points there with the parents here tonight watching. But as I mentioned in your intro, you had a big season this past year, 14.5 sacks. Also recently named the top edge rusher in the NFL by CBS Sports, Ryan Wilson. Also named to the Big Ten Network's All-Decade Second Team. So I'm just wondering, how did a kid from Pewaukee, Wisconsin make it happen? How did you push through, persevere, and achieve all of this individual success?
A lot of help. It's not just me. So many people along the way that have been able to help me, from high school coaches to my parents again, and a lot of my friends who pushed me and kept me on the right path, and just staying motivated, hard work, always knowing what I wanted, where I wanted to be. I knew I wanted to be in the NFL. I didn't always know how to get there, but I asked questions to my brothers, and just trying to be the best person that I could be on and off the field, also to keep me on the right path to the NFL. And I think you can't really put into words how special it is when you have so many people who want to see you succeed. And that's what I have. I have people in my corner who just want to see me succeed and push me every day. And that's why I love coming back to Wisconsin, because those people have molded me into who I am.
Doing my research on you a little bit, and found a real kind of a funny story you shared on the Players Tribune in video form, in which you talk about 2 early plays in the first game of the season. You were with the Badgers at the time. I'm not sure what year you were then, but you said you were going against one of the best players in the country, an offensive lineman, I'm assuming. And you said you were nervous and trying to prove that you belonged on the field. And as you were kind of backpedaling into the flat and playing, marking a guy defensively, you tripped. And then it happened a few plays later. I guess, is there kind of a story, though, within the story about never being afraid to make a mistake? Because failure, no matter what, is inevitable, right, in any facet of life. So young players, I think, especially in high school, that's always a hard thing to accept for them.
Oh, exactly. And I think it's so important, especially at every level of sports, is to have a short memory. It doesn't matter if it's a great play. It doesn't matter if it's a bad play. You have to move on. And I think that's so important in life too, because you can be humbled so quickly, especially in the NFL. If I make a sack on one play, I get pancaked the next play, and the play before doesn't really mean anything. So I think it's very important to realize that we are all human. We make mistakes, but always be eager to learn and try to get better.
In that same video, you also mentioned that you wanted to prove people wrong, that you were a great football player, that you did deserve to be on the field. Does that still drive you today? What is your, I guess, primary source of motivation now that you have established yourself on the field?
I think I want to be the best that I can possibly be. And growing up, I had a lot of internal motivation, obviously from being the youngest brother of Derek and JJ, and a lot of people, every interview I did growing up was always asking questions about them. And I would always kind of store mental notes in my head and use it to train harder and harder and fuel my fire throughout the years. And now that I've kind of, like I said, grown up, kind of blazed my own trail, the fire isn't gone. I'm still very motivated to be the best person, the best player that I can possibly be. And I'm just getting started. I can promise you that.
I can promise you also, TJ, I will not ask you about JJ or Derek in this interview, so you don't have to worry about that. Other than I will say I have enjoyed Ultimate Tag. That is a very good show. I'm kind of hooked on it, so well done on that. Definitely enjoying that with my sons. We're watching that. So, hey, you also lettered in just track and football, right? In high school, did you just those 2 sports you lettered in during your high school years?
Correct.
Or did you have another one in there? But you were big into hockey growing up too, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I did hockey all the way until I was probably 8 or 10 years old. Just got to be way too much traveling for my family with all 3 of us at different levels. Did some wrestling. It's a very difficult sport. I give props to all the wrestlers out there. It's a great sport, especially for football. My dad always pushed us to do that. And track and field, shot put, and discus was my go-to other than football.
I like to ask this too of our guests during these shows, but the topic of specialization. So you're a multi-sport athlete, another one who's achieved success at the highest of levels. I'm guessing the base of playing multiple sports was very important, not just focusing on one.
Yeah, 100%. And I think growing up, my parents put us in every sport we could possibly imagine. And it's really fascinating to be in an NFL locker room where we have time on our hands. We go to the basketball court, or we have a home run derby every year in Pittsburgh. And you see guys that are so great at football, and they can't swing a baseball bat. They can't swing a golf club or shoot a basket. So it's very weird because I grew up playing every sport, and I feel like I'm at least somewhat athletic in every sport, and I can look like I belong. So I think it's very important that you don't specialize and you play as many sports as you possibly can, because when else can you? A lot of kids don't have the privilege to go on to play college sports. So once you turn 18, you go on to college or whatever career path you choose, those sports are over with and you can't redo that. So I think it's very important to not specialize and be so focused on getting to college. You need to broaden your horizons and play as many sports as you possibly can.
How about this one? Student athletes under a lot of pressure to juggle a lot of moving parts, right, to their lives. So much is expected out of them today, athletically, socially, academically. What's your best piece of advice to the kids out there? Because you've done it. You've had to juggle a ton of stuff. Best piece of advice to the high school athletes, the student athletes out there when it comes to simply just managing their lives and balancing their interests, trying to keep everything on an even keel.
I think time management, and cut out all the excess stuff that you know isn't important. You know in your heart and in your mind what's important. If it's going to get you to where you want to be, then it's important. But if it's not, and those people, if you're hanging out with the wrong people, aren't motivating you and wanting to see you succeed, then you don't need them in your life. And I think you need to cut all that stuff out. And on top of all that, just learn time management. You know you have to study for classes. You know you have to wake up. You know you have to eat before you go work out. You know, most of the time, you know the right decision. And I think that's the biggest thing that I can tell people is to always make decisions based on if it's putting you in the right direction to where you want to be.
How about social media? Trying to keep that noise down as well. I guess your advice on social media, because these kids live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, I think. I don't know if kids are on Facebook as much anymore. But
yeah, like the MySpace days when I was growing up.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not bad to be on it. It's times have changed, right? So, I mean, I wasn't on a lot of social media when I was in high school because JJ and Derek would always say, who wants to even know what you're up to? Like, you're not famous. But now it's all everybody wants to know what everybody's up to. And I think it's definitely nice to have it in some aspects of life, but you don't need to be on it 24/7. Like I said, growing up, we were always outside playing sports, getting kids in the neighborhood and doing stuff. But times have changed, it seems like. And I know we're all kind of cooped up in our own homes, but if you can go out and play some catch with some friends from 6 feet apart and just do more stuff, where you're not always huddled around your phone, I think it's beneficial.
a few more things and we'll wrap it up. I know you got to get going here. So again, appreciate your time. It's a great addition to the show for sure. And I know the athletes out there are going to enjoy the messages and the comments you have on some different topics, but talking about being different today, different era today, athletes now seem to want to know why they're told to do something rather than just being told to do something, which is kind of what coaches, I guess, used to do way back when. But do you think, this is a lot of coaches we're honoring in the show as well, so they're watching tonight, but do you think coaches need to be more innovative, or have you found that you respond to more creative, more innovative ways when coaches are trying to implement something a little bit more unique, or just you want to know the why, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
If you're trying to get me to tell a coach what to do, I'm not going to do it. I mean, those
Mike
guys
Tomlin's
have
not
so
going to
much
go for that?
No, not at all. I think those guys have so much experience, and that's why they're in the position to teach the youth how to do things. And as a player, I was always a yes man, just trying to do the best that I can do for my team. Those guys have the best interest for not only you, but for everybody on that team. And I think that's important to know, is that they're not trying to beat you down or make you a worse player. All they want to see is they want to bring you to your highest potential. And not only for yourself, but for your team. And no, I never question a coach. I think you just kind of have to buy in and trust in the process and understand that those guys want you guys to succeed as much as possible.
We sort of touched on this a little bit, but sports is a big part of the lives and of the kids watching tonight, certainly. But it's also important to know they always say student athlete, right? The student comes first, the academic side comes first. So how do you keep your advice to those folks out there watching, how they can keep their successes on the field, on the court, track, pool, whatever they do, wrestling mat? Just keep it in perspective and understand that there's more to life than just sports. I'm guessing you have more going on than just playing linebacker for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, I think early in college, you're going to have a lot of freedom and you're going to want to not go to classes and you're not going to want to study. But the number one advice that I can tell you is show up, be there, be present in the moment, take as many notes as you possibly can, share your grades with your parents. I know something that I didn't do, but it will hold you more accountable. And I know that you're not going to like that, but it will truly hold you more accountable if you fully invest and find out how good of a student you can possibly be. Because just like sports, if you don't fully apply yourself, you're not going to know how smart you are. You're not going to know if you truly need help in certain areas. In college, I sat front 3 rows most of the time. I was on time for all my tutors. I know I needed tutors, but I still went and I got as much help as I possibly could. Because like I said earlier, time management is the biggest obstacle for a lot of student athletes because you're trying to juggle so many things at once.
2 more quick questions and a good transition here. There are kids out there that are moving on to the next level, going to play college football, basketball, wrestle, track, whatever it is. What's the best piece of advice you can share with the athletes that are watching tonight that will be competing at the collegiate level? What are the challenges they can expect to face as they make that big leap, that big transition?
Be a sponge. Soak up as much information as you possibly can. Don't challenge any older guys in the locker room. Just kind of try to follow along and see how things are done before you start opening your mouth trying to bring in your own ideas, because we all come from different places. I think that's the coolest thing about sports, and especially at the college level and at the professional level, is so many people are coming from different backgrounds. They're not going to be coming from Wisconsin. Some will be coming from different states. Some might be coming from different countries, and people do things differently, and that's all right. And that's what makes it so awesome. But I think that you have to really be a sponge, take in as much information as you possibly can, and put your head down and go to work.
Last thing, TJ, I got to ask, 2 quick predictions. How are the Badgers going to do this fall, and how are the Steelers going to do this season?
I hope the Badgers are going to do well. They always are. I mean, they're so consistent, and Coach Chris is such a great guy, and I'm always pulling for them. And as far as the Steelers, hopefully we can transition as many people that are watching this right now from Packer fans to Steeler fans. So go Steelers, and here we go.
That's going to be tough. That's going to be tough.
I know it's a tough task, but we can do it, people.
Hey, how about a Pittsburgh-Green Bay rematch in the Super Bowl? That'd be a lot of fun. All right. Well, TJ, we appreciate you being here this evening. Thanks for taking the time. I know you got a busy schedule, so I know everybody watching really appreciates it as well. So thank you very much, and good luck to you in 2020 and beyond.
Thank you very much. Take care.
Thank you again to TJ Watt for being here to speak with us, and all of our winning athletes tonight will receive a signed TJ Watt autograph photo. Before we move on, we'd like to take a moment to applaud our 11-team state champions, as well as the boys and girls basketball teams that either qualified for the state tournament or advanced to sectionals before their seasons were unexpectedly shut down due to the COVID-19 pandemic. While winning the state championship or coming close to winning a title or advancing to state is the ultimate goal, the journey to reach that pinnacle is often greater than the accomplishment. Yes, the trophies and medals are cool, but the memories are truly the prize. Congratulations to these teams on their outstanding seasons.
This next award is always fun to put together and present because a lot of it involves you. It's our Play of the Year award. We sifted through our live stream archives and also kept an eye on social media for some of the biggest plays and moments of the 2019-2020 school season. It was tough, but we finally agreed on 3 finalists and then showed them to you before tonight's show for your review and vote. The play that garnered the most votes is the winner. So you helped determine our Play of the Year award, and we thank you for taking part and giving us a hand. We hope you enjoyed watching these fantastic plays and moments as much as we did. Up first is Neenah girls diving. You're watching the Rockets' Ave Osro complete her 3 dives in the state finals to cement her 4th Division I state diving championship. The title puts Ave in select company as she is one of only 4 divers in the history of the state meet to win 4 championships. Next is Waupun boys basketball. Aaron Rodgers to Devontae Adams has nothing on Cole Hicken to Keegan Hartgrink. Say what? Check out this incredible and literal last-second play as Hicken rainbows a perfect inbounds pass to Hartgrink, who catches it and quickly scores the game winner as time expires to give Waupun a 44-42 victory over Ripon in a WIAA Division III regional final thriller. And our final clip is West Appear football. Despite a defender pulling and hanging onto his jersey and being nearly dropped close to the line of scrimmage, Phantom Star quarterback Josh Blount somehow spins his way out of trouble and races into the end zone from 24 yards out with 2:54 remaining in the second quarter. The touchdown was one of many highlights for Blount in the game as he rushed for 393 yards and 6 touchdowns and threw for another score in West Appear's wild 56-42 victory over rival Menasha. The votes are in, and you have decided that the 2020 Play of the Year is Waupun boys basketball, Hicken to Hartgrink. Congratulations, guys. That was a heck of a play. Amazing play, actually. And congrats also to Ave Osro and Josh Blount. Best wishes to Ave, who will be diving at Iowa. What a career she had at Neenah. And good luck to Josh and the Phantoms. We hope to see you again on the field this fall.
Moving on, we've come to a big point in the show. It's time for our Premier Awards, awards that showcase the courage, passion, fight, dedication, determination, and tenacity of our athletes, coaches, and teams. High school sports are not possible without the support and care of the hundreds of dedicated coaches that devote their time to helping our student athletes be the best they can be. But first, let's listen to a message from our presenting sponsor of the Coach of the Year Award, Festival Foods.
Let's summer. Let's dine out by truly dining out. Let's send smoke signals to the neighbors, then serve up the freshest of food with a side of fresh air. Let's raise our tongs to tasty by introducing our grills to new thrills and make mouths water more than a backyard slip and slide. Let's live a little more by having another s'more. Because summer is here, and no one does summer like Festival Foods.
Kicking off the Premier Awards is the Coach of the Year. Here to announce the award is Paul Klinkhammer, Festival Foods Store Director in Menasha.
Thank you. It is such an honor to be part of the biggest night in Wisconsin prep sports. Festival Foods is back for its 4th year to partner with the Wisconsin Prep Sports Award. This is for you, and we hope you know how proud we are of all of you. The 3 men nominated for our Coach of the Year award are the leaders and heartbeats of their programs. They're competitors, they're winners, and they're champions, but they're also teachers, mentors, advisors, and major influences on the many young athletes they've coached through seasons past and in seasons to come. Our 3 finalists for Coach of the Year are Brett Damrow of Howard's Grove Girls Volleyball, In his 14th season, Damrell led the Tigers to the state championship in Division III. It was their third state title in the school's history and their second with Damrell at the helm. They also won in 2016. It was the third trip to state in the last 6 years at Howard's Grove, which finished the season with a 44-4 record, with 3 of its losses coming against Division I schools. Bill Dietrich of Valders Boys Cross Country. Dietrich has built Valders into an annual state title contender and coached the Vikings to their third consecutive state championship in Division II. Last fall, after they were runners-up in 2016. Dietrich, in his 20th season as coach at Valders, was named the State Coach of the Year in Division II by the Wisconsin Cross Country Coaches Association. Gary Westerman of Bayport Football. Westerman led the Pirates to the berth in the Division I state championship game for their first time in school history. They finished the season with a 13-1 record after falling to Muskego 21-10 in the title game at Camp Randall Stadium. On the road to the final, the Pirates knocked off perennial state power Kimberly 42-28 in the state semifinal game. Westerman has an 82-12 record in his 8 seasons as head coach at Bayport. And the award goes to Bill Dietrich of Valders.
Before we continue, I would like to give a special thanks to Festival Foods. Festival Foods has a deep sense of community pride and responsibility, which is why they are dedicated to making a positive impact throughout Wisconsin. Festival Foods knows that getting involved in doing good is part of being a good neighbor and member of the community. From the sponsorship and support of large events such as the Festival Foods Turkey Trot to many small acts of service to local groups every day, Festival Foods strives to be a true asset to its communities and embody the give-back spirit of Wisconsin. Moving on to our second premier award, the Courage Award. But first, let's listen to a message from our presenting sponsor, BellinHealth. And here to announce the award from BellinHealth Titletown Sports Medicine and Orthopedics is Dr. Patrick McKenzie, MD.
Good evening. I want to thank you for the honor of being here tonight to celebrate the Courage Award for this year's high school athlete. The definition of courage is remaining steadfast in the face of difficulty, danger, and pain. It's dealing with adversity, not without fear, worry, or concern, but with poise, determination, and bravery. Life is filled with the ebbs and flows. The recipient of this year's Courage Award is inspirational in how to keep fighting when times are tough. The winner of this year's sports award has endured plenty of adversity. Tonight's honoree was 15 when she developed a perforated stomach that led to a cardiac arrest, a stroke, and septic shock. 6 weeks after suffering this insult, she awoke from her coma. She was left without her eyesight and had no ability to walk. But she had beaten the odds by surviving this horrific event. After spending 85 days in a hospital, and despite the seemingly insurmountable odds of overcoming this terrible experience, she came out determined to resume her running career and continue on in the sport that she had loved for most of her life. She even articulated that she'd been running since 5th grade, and giving up running her junior year was not going to be an option. She said, "I will not stop running." With the approval of her doctors and the Valders Area School District, she was given permission to compete despite these significant impairments, and she went about her business and trained. To compensate for being legally blind, she had her trainer tow her with a rope to accommodate her visual impairment. The training she completed, came back and competed in the Kettle Moraine Lutheran Invite on August 29th, an amazing feat. So please join me and honor our Courage Award winner, Jasmine Birchie, Valders Cross Country.
I would like to give a special thanks to Bellinhealth. Whether you're a starting quarterback, starting your comeback, or just want to live life pain-free, Bellinhealth Titletown can help get you back in the game. Their team of orthopedics and sports medicine experts leverages the latest in state-of-the-art technology to assess and address injury, create an individualized recovery plan, and help optimize performance for the future. Your comeback starts there. While we've recognized many fantastic individual performances tonight, we'd be remiss if we didn't salute some of our fantastic teams. With that said, here are the finalists for Girls Team of the Year. First up, Fox City Stars Hockey. The Stars won their second consecutive state title with a 5-3 victory over top-seeded Middleton Co-op. Annika Horman scored 2 goals in the championship game for Fox Cities, which beat Hudson 4-2 in the semifinal game to reach the final. The Stars' Maddy Jablonski was named state tournament MVP for the second consecutive year. The Stars finished the season with a 22-7 record. Next, Howard's Grove Volleyball. The Tigers swept their way to the Division III state championship, defeating Fall Creek in straight sets in the semifinals and then sweeping Aquinas in 3 sets in the title match. The Tigers finished the season with a 44-4 record, with 3 of their losses coming against Division I teams. It was the 3rd state volleyball title for Howard's Grove and the 2nd in the last 4 years. And last, Luxembourg Casco Volleyball. The 3rd-seeded Spartans upset number 1 seed McFarland in straight sets to win the Division II state championship. Led by Coach Jeff Fry, it was the first state title for Luxembourg Casco. And the award goes to Howard's Grove Volleyball.
Let's hop over to the boys' side. Take a look at the finalists for Boys Team of the Year. Kimberly Volleyball. The top-seeded Papermakers won their first state championship, finishing the season with a 35-2 record after beating Germantown 3-1 in the state title match at the Resch Center. It was a rematch of the 2018 championship match, which Germantown won. Kimberly's Landon Krause earned State Player of the Year honors in the Wisconsin Boys Volleyball Coaches Association, while teammates Tommy Klaus and Spencer Herman also made the All-State team, and Coach Matt Seidel won Coach of the Year honors. Valders Cross Country. The Vikings won their 3rd consecutive state championship in Division II and their 5th state title overall, scoring 78 points that easily outdistanced second-place Notre Dame, which finished with 108 points. Valders placed 3 of its runners in the top 13 and all 5 in the top 28 in the team competition, led by sophomore Shane Griepentrog and Clay Taylor in the top 10. Wrightstown Wrestling. The Tigers won their 4th state team title and the first since 2006, beating Gail Ettrick Tremperlow 38-19 in the Division II championship match at the UW Fieldhouse. Wrightstown led only 20-19 with 4 matches remaining. That's when Wrightstown made its move, getting a pin from Nick Alexander at 113 pounds and a technical fall from Caden Verbaten at 120 before Caden Colts clinched the match with a major decision at 126. The top-ranked and top-seeded Tigers finished the season with a perfect 22-0 record. And the award goes to Wrightstown Wrestling.
We've reached our final 2 awards of the evening, the Girls and Boys Athletes of the Year. To say it was difficult to narrow it down to 3 nominees for each is certainly an understatement. In the case of these next 6 athletes, you'll find individuals that excel in multiple sports. They're all conference and all-state performers, they're leaders, and they've been a whole lot of fun to watch and cover. Congratulations to all of them on what they've accomplished and what's still to come. It's my pleasure to announce the finalists for Girls Athlete of the Year. Up first, Leah Ernest of Stevens Point. Leah has been a 3-sport standout for SPASH and will play basketball in college at Valparaiso University. In basketball, she earned first-team All-State honors in Division I from the Wisconsin Basketball Coaches Association and second-team All-State from the Associated Press. She averaged 27.8 points and 14.5 rebounds per game, leading the state's Division I players in both categories. In the fall, she was a state qualifier in golf and posted the 4th best score for the Panthers at the Division I state meet. While she didn't get a chance to play softball this year due to the coronavirus pandemic, last spring, Leah was a first-team All-State selection at shortstop from the Wisconsin Fast Pitch Softball Coaches Association. She led the Wisconsin Valley Conference with 18 RBIs and was second in the league with a .474 batting average. Next is Marissa Ellenbecker of Edgar. Marissa was a winner of the prestigious WIAA Scholar Athlete Award given to only 32 seniors each year. She won 10 varsity letters during her career in cross country, basketball, and track and field. She's a 2-time individual cross country state champion in Division III, winning as a sophomore and a junior, and last fall she placed 10th as a senior. In basketball, Ellenbecker earned all-conference honors this past season in the Merriwood South Conference, and last spring, Ellenbecker placed in the top 4 in 3 events at the Division III state track meet, finishing 2nd in the 1600, 3rd in the 3200, and 4th in the 1600 relay after winning the state championship in both the 1600 and the 3200 in 2018. She will run cross country and track in college at Minnesota Mankato. And finally, Gabby Johnson of Freedom. Gabby is a talented 3-sport athlete for the Irish. In the fall, she earned first-team all-conference honors in cross country in the Northeastern Conference and finished 23rd at the WIAA Division II state meet. In the winter, she earned unanimous first-team all-conference honors in basketball and was the league's Defensive Player of the Year. She also earned honorable mention All-State in Division III from the Wisconsin Basketball Coaches Association. Last spring, Gabby competed in 4 events at the Division II state track and field meet and placed in the top 5 in 3 events in what was her first year of track after playing soccer as a freshman. Her top finish was 2nd place in the 300-meter hurdles. She also ran on the 5th place 800 relay and the 2nd place 1600 relay teams. And the award for Girls Athlete of the Year goes to Leah Ernest of Stevens Point.
Our final award is for Boys Athlete of the Year, and as you'll soon see by this amazing list of nominees, USA Today Network Wisconsin has been home to some of the state's absolute best. It has been a pleasure to watch all of you compete and succeed, and with all 3 of tonight's nominees about to conclude their high school careers, I wish you continued success in college and in life. And now it is my honor to announce the finalists for Boys Athlete of the Year. Ben Barton of Stratford. Ben, who will play football in college at the University of Wisconsin, was Wisconsin Football Coaches Association All-State Selection last fall on offense and defense and was the WFCA Small School Defensive Player of the Year, helping the Tigers to a 13-1 record and a trip to the Division V state championship game. He was also an Associated Press All-State pick and was nominated for State Player of the Year. He earned the Tim Crumry Award as the state's top senior defensive lineman, leading Stratford to 12 shutout victories. In the winter, Ben was a first-team All-State basketball selection in Division IV by the Wisconsin Basketball Coaches Association, leading the team in scoring and rebounding as the unbeaten Tigers had a 24-0 record and advanced to the sectional championship game before the season was ended due to the coronavirus pandemic. Ben earned Co-Player of the Year in the Merrillwood South Conference in basketball. Up next, Tanner Bordolini of Kewanee. Tanner, a three-sports standout who will play football in college at the University of Wisconsin, was first-team All-State as an offensive lineman for both the Wisconsin Football Coaches Association and the Associated Press. In the MONLPC, he was the league's Lineman of the Year on offense and defense and was also the league's Defensive Player of the Year. In basketball, Bordolini was a first-team All-Conference in the Packerland Conference after leading the Storm to a share of the conference title. He averaged 13.3 points and 10.3 rebounds per game. Tanner was also a state qualifier last spring in track and field, taking 4th place in Division II in the shot put. And finally, Max Musin of Bayport. As a football standout, Max was named Defensive Player of the Year in the Fox River Classic Conference and leading the Pirates to a 13-1 record and a trip to the Division I state championship game. He was a first-team All-State selection by the Wisconsin Football Coaches Association and second-team All-State by the Associated Press. A 3-year starter at defensive end and 2-time FRCC Defensive Player of the Year, Max will continue his football career at the Naval Academy. Max was also a 2-time state champion in wrestling, despite not picking up the sport until his sophomore year, and he won more than 100 career matches despite the late start. He repeated this year as a Division I state champ at 285 pounds, was Wrestler of the Year in the Fox River Classic Conference, and finished the season with a 46-1 record. Max also competed in track and field for the Pirates as a thrower. And the boys' Athlete of the Year is Ben Barton of Stratford. We at USA Today Network Wisconsin, in partnership with Bellinhealth and Festival Foods, want to congratulate all of tonight's nominees and winners on their outstanding seasons.
Also, thank you to everyone with USA Today Network Wisconsin for their help in making this show happen. There's a lot of people involved behind the scenes, and we sincerely appreciate their commitment and belief in the show. Special mention to our guy, Jim Rosendig, Rosie, who helped put this all together, and of course Kelly Weber, invaluable, and we appreciate both of them so much. And last but certainly not least, we think it's also important to acknowledge and thank the parents, grandparents, families, and friends for all the high school athletes, not just the ones we've recognized tonight. You've done so much as pep talkers, caregivers, cheerleaders, influencers, and being ultimate fans and supporting these athletes. You are all instrumental in helping get them where they are today. Athletes, please be sure to thank them all and show them your love and appreciation. I know it'll mean the world to them.
Well, 2 more things to get to before we close. First, please sign up for a digital subscription to any USA Today Network Wisconsin website. It gives you full access on any device, mobile, desktop, tablet, to all our local stories, photos, and videos, plus news and sports from around the state. Now, if you want the most complete, most in-depth coverage of what's going on in your community and throughout Wisconsin, we've got it for you. So just go to any of the USA Today Network Wisconsin websites, click on the subscribe tab at the top right of the site. We truly appreciate your support. And finally, one more standing ovation for the class of 2020. Thank you for your dedication. Thank you for your commitment. Thank you for your hard work. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your loyalty. And thank you for showing the way. Thank you for all the many wonderful memories that you've made. But most of all, thank you for being you. We salute all your past accomplishments. Look forward to applauding your many future successes. We hope to see you next year for another season of athletic accomplishments, inspiring words, and inspiring stories. Thank you all for watching.
Good night.